Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be going over my new wish list here on Steam. Some items have fallen off the list. I have added some items to the list, and let's just go over it. Now, Nightingale is on the top of the list here. It is a game that I'm really interested in getting. It's going to be coming out on February 22nd, 2024. Now, they did have a play testing or beta testing for that game. I didn't sign up for that. I wanted to go into that game with blinders on. I want to be able to play that game as though I am a 6-year-old and I know nothing about it. I enjoy doing that with some video games, and that one looked like it was going to be really fun just to figure out on your own. So I know nothing other than the fact that I know I want it, and I will be playing it when it comes out. Arc 2 has been on my list for a while. I don't really need to say much more about that. Blue Protocol, I'm really looking forward to this game. Now, I think Amazon Studios is bringing this. That's the publisher, if I remember correctly. I am really hopeful for that game. It is what it is. I mean, the anime look, I like that. You could click on the Steam yourself, look this one up, but it's definitely one that I'm going to play. Now, Fractured Veil, that is another survival open world sandbox. I think this one's a survival horror. That looks really, really good. That's coming out on January 18th, and I'm definitely thinking I'm going to be on board for that. I don't really know much more than what I just said about the game. I added it to my list when it came up onto a queue, and I briefly looked at it when I added it to my list. But again, I want to kind of be in the dark with that one. Also, I think it's a Hawaiian theme. It's in Hawaii, so that's going to be kind of cool. Dune Awakening, that's been on my list a while. I've talked about it before. And Shrouded, another one that I don't really know much about. Other than I had added to my list. I think it's a base building survival, open world, crafting. I think it's an RPG game. It's definitely something that I had on my list, but it's nothing that I'm going to say that if I'm comparing two games, that one's going to fall short of me wanting to buy it if there's another game that I'm interested in. I do remember that part about it because it's got a lot of similarities to some of the games I've already mentioned above. And I'm really hopeful for the ones that I have mentioned above. But it's on my list. If the other games don't pan out during the same time this one's releasing, then I will definitely get the game. Pirate Commander, now I don't think this is ever going to amount for anything. It looks like a really cool time waster game. I do like time waster games when I'm really bored. I don't think it's going to amount to anything. You can look it up for yourself. It is what it is. Anvil of Empires, there's no a date for that. It's going to be a strategy action sandbox city building type of game. Another time waster game, you know what I mean, like just kind of moving things around. Now the Vampire Clans, I added that to my list when I added the Pirate Commander. They're from the same publisher. They look like they're exactly the same game, but one's with vampires and one's with pirates. I don't think those games are going to pan out because when I looked at the developer of those games, they haven't had a real good track record on actually finishing games or actually publishing, putting games actually on Steam that you can play. A lot of coming soon on their list of things, but not a lot of games under their belt. Okay, Pale World. I'm really interested in this game. This one's supposed to come out next month, and it reminded me when I looked at it. It reminded me of Pokemon. It's a creature collector game. And then you can use those creatures to do battles, I believe, within the game itself. It looked really promising when I put it on my list. I'm really excited about that. Roman survival city building game. It's just a city building game, a single player game, time waster game. I really like those when I really just want to relax, watch a movie, and not have to really micromanage anything like a first-person shooter, and I just want to burn some time. I like what I call time waster games, and it's gonna be a time waster game. I'm gonna build a little city, let things go. I can pause it, fast forward it, whatnot. Now, Rooted is something I added just recently. I've had my eye on it for a while, and every time it pops up, I failed to hit the wish list only because there was something about it that didn't sit right. But the last time it popped up in my feed, I did a little bit more research on it. And I think in this one, you're fighting against robots. It's a multiplayer base building game. It's open world survivor horror, but I think it's with robots that you're fighting. Like, I'm not saying Terminator robots, but like, I think that's the premise of the game, if I remember right. So I added it to the wish list. It's to be announced. There's no real when that's going to be out. So what's good about it is if it comes out during a lull time where I'm in between something or I want to take a break from something else, then maybe I'll buy it when it comes out. Now, Ars Notoria, I've already done a series of videos on this game, and you can go to my playlist and look at it. This game is very promising. This game, I think, won't hit the market for at least a couple months. So I've got some time. I've been doing some testing for them. And I think that's been progressing normally. Like, when I've done a lot of game testing in the past, and when I rate developers, I would say these guys are about an A. I mean, A plus an A plus rating for me is like perfect, and I don't think any developer is perfect. So I think as A is going to be as high as I would go with any developer, at this particular point, because they are seeing the bug reports, they're timely fixing them, and they seem to know or have the development knowledge to resolve them and resolve them timely. So I think they're doing very well at this time. So I'm thinking maybe 2 months from now, you'll see that on the market, and I will be playing that pretty heavily. Now, Riven World remains on my wish list, even though it is out and you can buy it. Now, I leave it here because I'm very happy with how that game came out. It's just that the player base is not really there yet for it. And I leave it here so that I can put your eyes on the product and say, you should check it out. They got a 24-hour demo. If it's something that you like, then, buy it. I think their player base just needs to get picked up a little bit. And I know they're hoping to put out a new update for that game very soon. Zombie Survival Game Online. Now, this is on my list. It got on my list about 2 weeks ago. I played the demo. I'm on the fence with the demo. When it comes to survival games, for me, I'm one of those kind of people that like a lot of quality of life stuff in the game. And if you're looking at a survival game that makes you micromanage a lot of inventory stuff, this game's for you. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for Tarkus, I like auto sorts. I like pick up all kind of features and whatnot. And maybe in the future this game will have it, but I'm on my fence about it. It's supposed to release in 2 days, December 20th. So play their demo. If it's something that you like, definitely support them, buy their product, give them a review. For me, I'm going to wait a little bit, let that marinate a little bit for me, and see if it goes in a direction that makes it a little easier for me. If you don't know or haven't followed my channel, I was in a motorcycle accident many years ago, and I took brain damage from the accident. So this hand sometimes won't do what I need it to do sometimes. So Twitch gaming is very difficult for me. And micromanaging inventory selections and whatnot in the heat of being attacked or whatnot, it gets frustrating for me to do those kinds of things. So when I say quality of life issues, when I say in a video game, they're kind of like things that allow me to play easier by just using the mouse and not having to rely on this hand. So, I mean, that's just me. The game is playable. It's a good game. If it's something you like, try the demo and then buy and support them. Okay, Beyond the Stars. I don't remember putting this in my thing. it's going to come out in 2024. Strategy city builder game. Okay, so another time waster game. We can go back to that one at a future time. Now, this one here is a new one. This is a top-down, kind of like giving you the Diablo 4 vibes. Let me just click on this real quick to just look at it. Because I just recently added this one. And I think it, for what I had looked at, it looked like it was going to be fun. Single player MMO. You can play online. You can play PvP and co-op. So I thought this one would be a cool one to try to scratch that itch. Perfect New World. That's kind of like I believe that's another anime type of genre. The graphics look cool. It's an RPG. This one's coming soon, so I don't even know when that one's coming out. This other game, Nova Aroma, this is a city builder time waster game. I actually own a few games from this publisher, so that's why I put it on my list to support the publisher, because I've enjoyed all the other games that they have made. Bot Crafter, this one is, I think, a robot simulation base building sandbox. Bot Crafter. Let me just go in there real quick. I added this one about a month ago, I believe. This one's announced, to be announced. Oh, it's another time waster game similar to my Timberborn, where you just build it. It's a base building game. It's just more detailed, more, almost like I don't, there's other games that it reminds me of. Fantastic Haven. This is another city building game. This one just hit my wish list today. So that's a good one to keep an eye on. United Penguin Kingdom, same thing, city builder game. It's like my Timberborn. I put I think there's two versions coming out, or they're the same version, but both of them made it into my wish list. I think they're the same. I think they're the same product, or maybe not. I don't know. Or one's coming out in December 19th, 2023. So that would be very like tomorrow. I think this one, part of it's coming out, and then maybe there's an add-on and they'll be added later. I'm not really sure. This Space Frontier, I've beta tested this, and I'm thinking to removing it from my wish list altogether. I did not enjoy myself with that beta test or the testing that I did for that game. And Light No Fire is this one here. It's a game about adventure, building, survival, and exploration. It's a single player, but it's got online co-op. So who knows? It looked like it was promising. So that's my list as of today. I know it's like, okay, Tarkus, obviously you're not going to play all these games. Well, I might play a little bit of all these games and see which ones I want to, stream, which ones I want to play long term, depending on what kind of a social playing base that I run into. Because that's the other thing with me, is if I find a team of people playing a crappy game, I'll still play the crappy game with a team of people as long as they're friendly people and they need my help, right? So, or I could play an amazing game with an amazing group of people. That happens also too. So I think keeping it open here on trying to, say, okay, I like to play all these games. I like to support at least some publishers of these games. Because, there might be a publisher that puts something out and I might buy their game and not play it for 6 months. Only because I want to support them when they make their product, because I've liked other games that they had created in the past. So that's just me when it comes to loyalty to publishers. All right, if you see something that's not on my list that kind of falls within these type of games, then please tell me, and I will look them up and add them to the list accordingly if it's something I think I'm going to like. All right, well, I'm just sharing you the wish list. Currently, it looks like I got 27 titles in there, and hopefully we can find some gems out of those in the future. All right, well, thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.